Hello and welcome to Granada Reports, live with the latest across the northwest.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Here's what's coming up on the programme this evening.
Former Liverpool Mayor Joe Anderson and former Deputy Council Leader Derek Hatton are charged with bribery and misconduct in a public office. We'll have the latest.
Criminal gang who stole electricity to power a drugs operation worth more than £20 million. We'll have the full story as 8 men are sentenced.
An exclusive chat with BMX star Sinead Reid, who's now inspiring the next generation after disappointment at the Olympics led to her alcoholism.
I decided that I was a failure now. I didn't win the Olympic Games and this was going to be my life. I wasn't living and now I'm living to the maximum.
The sweet sound of Florentines, the youthful band from Bolton on the verge of breaking it into the big time.
10 years of banging the drum for Bongo, the Liverpool success story that's now known the world over.
And we are set to see some of the highest temperatures across the UK during this coming weekend. Is it going to last? Well, all the details coming up later on in the forecast.
So please stay with us for all of that. First tonight, the former Mayor of Liverpool, Joe Anderson, has been charged with bribery and misconduct.
Well, it relates to the awarding of commercial and business contracts by Liverpool City Council over a 10-year period.
Derek Hatton, the former deputy leader of the council, also faces charges, along with 10 other people.
Well, let's cross live to Liverpool now to join our reporter Emma Sweeney. Emma, what's the latest tonight?
Well, as you say, Joe Anderson, the former mayor of Liverpool, one of 12 people facing charges by Merseyside police. Among the charges he faces, bribery and misconduct in a public office. Now, it was back in 2020 when Mr. Anderson was first arrested in relation to this investigation. Following that arrest, he was then suspended by the Labour Party. Today he tweeted saying that he was innocent of the charges and he would now he would fight to clear his name. Now, others who face charges by Merseyside police include Joe Anderson's son, David Anderson, as well as Derek Hatton, the former deputy leader of the council from the 1980s, alongside the authority's former director of regeneration, Nicholas Kavanagh, and brothers Julian and Paul Flanagan from the Flanagan Group, a construction group based here in Liverpool. Now, today we spoke to Steve Rotherham. He is the Metro Mayor for the Liverpool City region. We asked him for his thoughts. This is what he had to say.
That's why we have police to investigate them. That's why we have a judiciary to find if people are innocent or guilty. It's not for me to pontificate on what might come out of that process.
Now, in a statement today, the council said that it was continuing to cooperate with the police investigation. It added that the council had been transformed under new leadership since 2020. Now, of course, these charges mean that the criminal proceedings are now active. The Crown Prosecution Service today warning people that the 12 defendants have a right to a fair trial. People shouldn't be commenting, they shouldn't be speculating, they shouldn't be sharing material online, doing anything to jeopardise these proceedings. The 12 individuals who've been charged will now appear before Preston Crown Court at the end of the month.
Emma Sweeney in Liverpool tonight. Thank you.
Well, next tonight to the criminal gang from the northwest who stole power to supply cannabis farms right across the country.
Today, 7 men were jailed and another was handed a suspended sentence for their part in the conspiracy, which supported a drugs empire worth more than £20 million.
The group, who were based in Wigan, posed as legitimate workmen to evade police. Our reporter Tasha Kacheri has the story.
Stay where you are! Stay where you are. Stay there.
The moment Ross McGinn was arrested.
Currently under arrest for conspiracy to produce Class B drugs and conspiracy to abstract electricity. OK, so you do not have to say anything that might harm your defence. You do not mention when you question something like that.
Well, there's a considerable amount in there.
At his home, hundreds of pounds found in drawers and closets. He's one of the directors for a company in Wigan called Elevate, set up to steal electricity to power large cannabis farms for Albanian gangs.
Not many people would question what they were doing on the street. They'd dig up the road, they'd dig up the pathways, and they would get into what we call three-phase electricity. They'd run that electricity into the cannabis farms, and that would provide the electricity and the lighting and what was required for those farms.
Elevate ran the operation for over 4 years. The ruse was found when police raided a cannabis farm and noticed a company digging up the road outside. They stole electricity for farms across the country, including 12 in the northwest.
The work that they carried out, what looked legitimate, was extremely dangerous. The work involved working on live cabling and the risk that that posed to members themselves of that group, but also members of the public as well.
Police shut down 100 farms, arresting those involved in an operation which spanned 32 forces.
Oh, police! Walk slow! Show me your hands!
Seizing cannabis plants worth £21 million, thwarting Albanian gangs involved in modern-day slavery, trafficking and criminal exploitation. Today, 7 men from the northwest have been jailed for a collective 38 years. Another man received a 22-month suspended sentence at Liverpool Crown Court.
I hope this sentencing sends a really clear message out there, and not just to those who think they're directly involved in serious organised crime, it's also to the others that actually enable this crime to happen. Whoever you are, or wherever you are, then we will find you. And there's no boundaries and borders to us. We will identify those individuals and we'll bring them to justice.
Tasha Kachiri, ITV News, Liverpool.
Let's take a look at some more of the day's news now. And a man arrested over the death of a schoolgirl who was hit by a car on a sports pitch has been released under investigation. 10-year-old Poppy Atkinson was struck in Kendal on Wednesday. A second child was also injured. Police say their inquiries continue.
Tributes have been paid to the, quote, most beautiful 4-year-old girl who died in a house fire in Manchester. Les Moreau's Wibier was pulled from the blaze at the property on Gateshead Close in Rusholme last Sunday afternoon. A 44-year-old woman who was known to her has been rearrested on suspicion of murder and detained under the Mental Health Act.
Allotment holders and those living near a former chemical plant in Thornton Cleveleys are being warned about eating homegrown fruit and veg. It's while an investigation is carried out by the Environment Agency into potential contamination around the former ICI plant at Hill House. There's no evidence that eating anything which was grown nearby will cause any harm, but Wyre Council say those within 1 kilometre of the site should consider taking a better safe than sorry approach.
The Liverpool City Regions announced what's being called a landmark agreement to clean up the River Mersey faster and help deliver the government's national water quality goals. The agreement commits the region, alongside United Utilities and the Mersey Rivers Trust, to a joint 5-year action plan. It's aimed at reducing sewage discharges, boosting biodiversity and reducing flood risk.
Our rivers have been open sewers for decades and for generations, because industrialisation meant that we used to just pump all of our toxic waste into what has been the lifeblood of our fortunes for centuries, the River Mersey. It was once biologically dead in the 80s, and it's already started to recover, and some of the ecology we're seeing now is really encouraging.
I understand people's concerns about sewage pollution, and more importantly the need to reduce spills, and that's why we've put forward the biggest plan in the country. So we're going to spend over £13 billion over the next 5 years to reduce combined sewer overflow spills. The work that we're already doing is showing real results, so we're going to see a 20% reduction, for example, on those spills compared to what we saw last year.
Now, she was one of the biggest stars of British sport, but after twice missing out on Olympic gold, her life spiralled out of control.
Sinead Reid was part of a golden generation of Northwest cyclists who became sporting superstars.
Yeah, the BMX racer from Crewe was a multiple world champion, but has revealed that after the heartbreaking disappointments of Beijing and then the London Olympics, she became an alcoholic.
Well, thankfully, Sinead is now back to full health, and this weekend she'll compete for an award at the Power of a Woman Awards. Well, ahead of International Women's Day this weekend, she spoke exclusively to our sports correspondent, Mike Hall.
On this BMX track in Crewe, a sporting comeback is underway. Sinead Reid is all smiles, facing the world again after the darkest chapter of her life. A 9-time world champion, Sinead was for many years the best BMX racer on the planet. But the one gold medal she craved the most eluded her.
I retired on the Thursday, and by the Monday I was pretty much an alcoholic. I decided that I was a failure now. I didn't win the Olympic Games, and this was going to be my life. I completely removed myself away from society. I was 20 stone in body weight. I wasn't even visible to the eye to people who I was.
Sinead was part of the golden generation of British cycling, a team so prolific that their Manchester headquarters became known as the Medal Factory. Twice she went to the Olympics as favourite for gold. Twice she came up short. What she believed was failure triggered depression and anxiety.
I think the lowest point for me in the whole journey was just like drinking and blacking out and not knowing if it's day or if it's night, and just not knowing how I'd gone from being on billboards, going to the Olympic Games. I was the face of Visa, Cadbury's, you know, all these huge commercial deals, yet there I was stuck to the bottle. And when you get that realisation that, you know, we're Olympians, we're all about willpower, and it's nothing to do with willpower. Once that gets hold of you and that drags you down, you're trapped in your own prison.
After 2 years of drinking, Sinead joined a new team, Alcoholics Anonymous. She's now 7 years sober.
Most people are shocked when they hear I say being an alcoholic is the greatest gift. But going into that fellowship, just as I did with BMX, I found a community, I found my tribe. And that tribe, everyone, all they wanted is for you to get well and to be better. I didn't have a clue how to even send a letter in the post. All I knew was how to ride a bike fast. But the wisdom and the knowledge and the love and compassion that I was shown, that's what this is about as well.
So he's teaching you French as well as teaching you BMX?
Here at the hometown track named in her honour, Sinead has launched her own academy, sharing her wealth of experience in racing and in life with stars of the future.
BMX racing is when you're on a bike and you have a low seat and you need to pedal really fast and have explosions.
What do you know about Sinead Reid?
I know that she raced the Olympics and crashed, sadly, and I know that she's a 9-time world champion.
Sinead Reid is a very good rider. She helps a lot, she's funny.
She has such a good legacy that I couldn't ask for a better role model.
The launch of this academy is significant on many levels. It's a chance for young people to get active and to try a new sport, and it might just unearth a future Olympian. But this is a huge victory for Sinead Reid herself, emerging from the darkness, that realisation that while her race days may be over, she still has so much left to offer the sport that she loves.
So I'm not messing this chance up. Like I didn't mess around with life before, but in them dark days and them dark periods, I just felt like I was existing. I wasn't living, and now I'm living to the maximum and just loving every day, every day.
An achievement far more valuable than any medal. Mike Hall, ITV News in Crewe.
Yeah, she really is remarkable, isn't she? And how fast were those kids? There's definitely going to be a few future stars there.
Yeah, she's been on a remarkable journey, well and truly.
Right, well, let's take a look at the ITV Evening News, which continues with the national news and international stories at 6:30. Here's Charlene with the details.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, 6 Just Stop Oil protesters have their sentences reduced by the Court of Appeal. Their lawyers argued they were manifestly excessive. Why teachers will be tackling tooth decay in schools. And fit for a king, Charles reveals his favourite tunes. But what are they? Well, join us for those stories and more from 6:30.
Some of these next acts might be on his list, mightn't
Yeah,
they?
you never know. Now, as you may have heard earlier this week, it's been a bit of a chart battle being fought by 2 Northwest favourites, with the Lathams and Doves vying for a #1.
Yeah, well, in the last hour, it's been announced that Sabrina Carpenter has actually taken the top spot, with the Lathams and Doves charting at 3rd and 5th, respectively. But big well done to both of them.
Absolutely. And one group hoping to follow in their footsteps are Florentines from Bolton. They've released an EP, They're booked for summer festivals, and all of that, get this, while their drummer is still in school.
Yeah, he is. So today they've released their latest single, Fuel for the Flame, and we have an exclusive first performance with the full track on our website and ITVX. But here's Elaine Wilcox with our latest Granada introducing.
I've been friends with Harry, our bass player, for about 10 years. Harry was like one of the cool kids and Luke was like one of the geeks who was missing a drummer.
So what was it like for you, Liam, joining three friends who were already playing together?
It was scary, yeah. Quite daunting to like fill the hole, really.
What about your neighbours though? I mean, hearing that neighbours aren't very impressed with your drumming.
I don't know what their issue is, really. On Sundays, they're out for a walk, so I did it then anyway.
So when you're on a massive stage, perhaps playing Bolton Stadium, will you invite them?
Yeah.
So Liam, in the last 2 years, you're playing out sell-out gigs.
Yeah.
You've got an EP. Do you pinch yourself?
I tend to not like really deep it too much.
No, you don't.
Oh,
no,
I do.
We told him he had a day off school today and he started jumping up and down. That's not even a joke.
All right.
What time were you here today? 10 o'clock? Yay!
We both know if I run away, you'll catch me. Try to breathe before you pass out.
And tell us about the EP, 14, 17, the ages when you recorded it.
All the songs together is 14 minutes and 17 seconds.
And you're already out of date because you're 15 and 18.
What if we do 2 in a year? That's 15, 18 part 2, you know?
Who came up with the name Florentines?
Guess.
If you're sure, then I'll go away, and you'll go away, yeah.
Talking about genius, though, you've been compared to Keith Moon from The Who.
That's a compliment. Really.
This is a compliment.
That's a huge compliment.
You're getting a growing fan base, aren't you? And one of your fans gifted you a guitar.
It's a Johnny Marr signature one. He just gave it to me, like, he just went, here you go. Hopefully it'll serve you well, and it has done so far.
Would it be nice to play with Johnny Marr on stage?
See, now that's like another level, I think, jangly guitar icon.
And your mum's the manager.
I spend more time with her now than ever, to be honest. Right when I'm a teenager and I should be getting away from my parents, I'm spending the most time with them.
But she's doing the business. Everyone's talking about Florentines.
She's not scared to show everyone this band from Bolton. You've got a drummer that's got no GCSEs yet. It don't mean that you can't be taken seriously.
That face he pulled about his mum being the manager.
I know, there you go. If you want to spend more time with your kids, become the mummager.
Yeah, that works out, doesn't it? You can head to ITVX to see their full performance of that new single, Fuel for the Flame.
Well, next to sport now, and on the eve of International Women's Day, there's a big night of women's boxing with Liverpool's world champion Tasha Jonas headlining. Isn't that right, David?
Yeah, that's right. The two-weight world champion is looking to add more titles to already impressive collection. Tasha fights the Olympic gold medalist Lauren Price and tops the bill of an all-female lineup at the Royal Albert Hall tonight. There'll be plenty of Liverpoolians down in London cheering her on. 3 world welterweight belts are up for grabs. And after her trainer Joe Gallagher was recently diagnosed with cancer, Tasha says she has even more incentive to win.
I think it's added motivation, a bit more grit between your teeth, and it makes you dig deeper. And I know I've got that in me if things get tough. There's going to be a few hundred Scousers all ringside screaming their heads off and willing me on, and yeah, so it's going to be a great night.
And you see only one result, and that is your arm being raised at the end.
Yeah, good luck to Tasha. Well, to football now, Manchester United fans will stage another protest against their owners, the Glazers, ahead of the Premier League game with Arsenal at Old Trafford on Sunday.
People have the right to protest. I think it's a good thing to do that. It's part of our club.
Everybody has a voice. But our job, in my job, is just to improve the team, give them something in this moment because they deserve it.
Well, next week, challenging start for Manchester Thunder in a new era of netball. Their build-up to the new season has been heavily disrupted by players being away on international duty. There are big changes to Super League this year with reduced teams and squad sizes. While the game is working towards becoming fully professional, many in Thunder's squad still have day jobs.
Yeah, so I work as a doctor as well, which can be quite challenging, but there's definitely transferable skills between the two. I've definitely learned a lot from medicine that I've then taken into netball, lots of stuff from netball that I've taken into medicine in terms of working in a team, working under pressure.
I'm excited, don't get me wrong, a little apprehensive. It's been a really tough pre-season, been pretty fractured to be honest. We've not actually had our athletes until 2 weeks ago. We have been hit with injuries and pregnancy, but hey ho, we start this weekend and our first home game next weekend, and we've just got to throw everything at it.
Yes, they were the runners-up last year. Fingers crossed they could get to the final and go all the way this year.
Absolutely.
David, thank you very much indeed.
Well, finally tonight, to Liverpool institution that's now a smash hit right around the world.
Yeah, Bongo's Bingo has been running for 10 years, and its brand of bizarre bingo has won over millions of fans and brought the game of chance to a whole new generation.
Well, to mark their big birthday this weekend, they're running some of their biggest ever shows back where it all started in their hometown.
If you've ever been, you'll know it's quite the spectacle. Oh yes, quite the spectacle. And our very own Bongo's veteran, Victoria Grimes, has the story. Just a warning, this report contains flashing images right from the start.
It's a smash hit event that's turned bingo on its head. At Bongo's, they're never short of a full house. And the man that started it all still can't quite believe it.
Johnny Bongo, 10 years of Bongo's Bingo.
Over 5 million people have come to shows in the last 10 years, which is just like, that's like mind-blowing for me.
And it's bingo?
And you're coming to play bingo, yeah? Because the bingo's the main part of it. It's the best game in the world. Forget about football and darts. Bingo's number one.
Bongo's has amassed a huge cult following along the way. One of its biggest superfans is 97-year-old Anne.
You all right? Yes. So Saturday night, you ready for it?
Jaws out and busting through the window. No, you wouldn't think I was 97 because he talked to me and danced with me as though I'm one of them, so I made up with that.
Do you still get on the tables and dance?
I did when we first went. When it was 90, but you're not allowed on the tables now in Bongos. Sometimes I get on the bench, but the girls are holding on to make a case of all. Mom, get down. Mom, don't do this. Mom.
And from superfans to superstars.
Khalees, the Venga Boys, Five, Craig David, and then we've had Craig David. Yeah, we did a few shows with him. He was unbelievable. And then we've had so many people come as customers. You know, Samuel L. Jackson turned up in Glasgow. Can you believe that?
You're kidding.
Samuel L. Jackson.
It didn't take long for Bongos to go global with shows in Dubai, Austria, and even New York, but its roots remain firmly in Liverpool.
Johnny, you're famous for your weird and wonderful prizes. I mean, this is one of your iconic ones, isn't it? Your pink unicorn.
Yeah, we've got, you know, disco ball helmets, princess sets, but really this guy here is probably one of the most iconic prizes that we give away, the pink fluffy unicorn. And it is funny, you know, some nights we could be offering £1,000, but some people would rather just, you know, if given the option on the night, just win this guy. Because
they'd rather have a pink fluffy unicorn.
Honestly, it sounds cheesy, but people genuinely leave smiles on their faces, and it's like, it's medicine.
Victoria Grimes, ITV News, Liverpool.
I was just saying to Rob, I was one number away from winning that pink unicorn when I went.
Let's get the weather. Here's Tori.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Well, indeed, a very mild weekend coming up this weekend. Temperatures a good 10 degrees above average. I couldn't resist a picture of the floof in the spring flowers, I'm afraid. Who can? But it is going to be quite the weekend coming up, so temperatures could be up to 19, maybe even 20 Celsius by Sunday. Time will tell, but we'll soon see. Today, of course, it has been rather more cloudy and rather a damp day across the Isle of Man, but here as well the rain is clearing and most of us will end up being dry by the end of the night, and we'll start to see some hazy brightness coming through the cloud by the early hours too. So quite mild, temperatures of 7 or 8 Celsius for many of us first thing in the morning. Sun up is at 6:44 and sunset is just after 6 p.m. in the evening. It's going to be a lovely day with hazy sunny spells developing more so the later on in the day, and because the breeze is coming in from the east, west is best to get those higher temperatures. So just to the western side of the hills you'll see highs of 18 or maybe 19 Celsius. And a repeat performance really on Sunday because we hold on to that southeasterly breeze. So again, the western side of the hills will see the highest temperatures and we'll probably see more sunshine than we have tomorrow. So a lovely weekend on offer. But I did say earlier, is it going to last? Well, no. The warmth over the weekend is being replaced by cold air coming in from the north, and the temperatures really will take a tumble. And through the day on Monday, it's going to get colder as the day goes on. So you can see the change, a 10-degree drop in our highs from the weekend to what we'll be seeing by the time we get into the first couple of days of next week.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Sorry, garden or beach weather, love it. That is it from us this Friday.
Yeah, but just before we go, take a look at these amazing animations of women from across Greater Manchester. They're being shown on the ceiling screens at the Printworks all weekend to mark International Women's Day.
We'll have the full story on our bulletin tomorrow. For now, though, from all the team, thanks for watching. Good night.
Bye-bye.